counter strat coming through.
Yeah.
But firepower-wise, Rooster, consistency is a thing that can be an issue with them. But when they are all firing, that is when Rooster is potentially the best team in Oz.
I agree, absolutely. And Mac, I believe I've had a little birdie potentially tell me here that we are just about ready to start the grand final. So predictions, throw them in. What do you got?
Vertex 2-0. Look, I'd love to see Rooster give it a crack, but I'm expecting a similar thing to yesterday. That being said, I would not be surprised if Rooster caused some kind of crazy upset, but I'd also be extremely, extremely sad for the Vertex fellas.
Yeah, I think I agree with that line of thinking. I think as well on the fact that we've seen Vertex just look, very well formed now with Hazza coming into the mix as well. I think they can only go from strength to strength with this lineup of 5, but we will definitely have to give this map a couple of rounds to be able to play with. Of course, PZ with that P250, always going to be rocking in toward this one with the pistols, but the damage that's being delivered so far, Rooster, they're starting to lose a couple of members.
Numbers thinned. Retake not looking super likely unless ADDICT goes crazy. Flank coming through. Nedic will be able to find himself this one-on-one duel with Hazza as well, but Hazza on the offline. Looks good until the crosshairs going bloody everywhere. Nedic going to be able to win that one, but the number's still strong for Vertex for now. TJ going to be able to find another, but that's going to be answered with the two-man push from Vertex back towards CT, and they've got this gen control. Bomb going to be planted behind default so they can swing on the tap, and they don't really have to try and force any fights here. There's that tap. Nedic as well wrapping left side. PZ thinking it might have been a full stick, but Nedic now in trouble, and Vertex already mopping up the pistol purely off of time.
Good shot from Nedic at the end of it, but you're exactly right. The way that Vertex had kind of played the round is what they needed to do when they got the plant down. Nedic's going to get a couple of consolation frags at the end of it, but PZ just running on through with that P250, able to zip up the round. Very nicely does it. Vertex off to the races with that pistol, but I think, we'll come expect with all the damage that Rooster has actually delivered that they would be going in for a force. That's exactly what they are doing. CJP. Did he drop a weapon over to one of the teammates, or is it just a pistol on the floor?
I have no idea, mate.
I think he's dropped a FAMAS over. So I think they're doing the Ray Boss strategy come this secondary round. On the T side of things, we usually see them grab that AK, drop it into ASAP's hands or into Chell's hand and just let him go shoot, recycle it. So something of that caliber in this round for Rooster.
Look, it works for him. But we'll see if it works this time, and if Vertex are going to expect it. Of course, if you try to put one of the USPs up front, you can maybe give Vertex a false sense of security. With the Vertigo, ADDICT swinging into numbers, but his FAMASes both tearing through him. Malta going to be able to maybe save the day, and that FAMAS has not been recycled. TJ couldn't get to safety, so he falls, and maybe the chance in the round, but that's going to be the spike on the ground. Valorant. Bomb.
Oh, let's just put a spike in it, shall we? Hazza a one-on-one. A very large chance for ASAP, but they're going to meet through the smoke. Oh, Hazza. Quite unfortunate that it doesn't go your way, but the damage delivered by Rooster, those FAMI, still don't really know which direction in the whole of Counter-Strike for a plural of the gun, but regardless, that gets the job done. As you say, TJP caught out with a bit of a reload for that gun. Regardless, ASAP coming through, delivering the goods. Means we're all tied up, and it's going to be that force from Vertex. You were kind of wondering, what sort of executes are we going to get to the B side of the map, from Vertex, if it's going to be played with, what maybe we get from Rooster when they go to their T side. Of course, we have to wait for that for a little bit, but I kind of want to see, the repetitions that they do between these maps, between these two teams, right? For Rooster on the CT side, strengthen numbers towards the A site time and time again as far as Encore was concerned, and they've kind of started off the same into this series.
Well, where to from here? 30 seconds have passed already, and everything's going real damn slow for the moment. Rooster, extremely passive approach towards this B site, giving a lot of weight on ASAP's shoulders. Mid and B that he has to worry about, and Rooster heavy presence towards the A ramp. So ASAP has one smoke to play with, can maybe fall back here. We'll see how the Xe goes. Looks like Vertex is going to be able to get a whole bunch of space now. Brace. First point of contact here behind Jen. Hazza as well. Just spamming away over towards that jump up position. PZ jiggling, swinging, and now just tucking away until Brace takes this contact. But we are going to see another smoke over towards that Gen side. Brace is gone. PZ can't see a thing. Rears his head up for a first kill. Not quite the second, but the number's going to be thinned away. ADDICT. He's going to be running with his tail between his legs as well. And VERTEX with pistols. And look, just the full mixed bag come through with the dub.
Absolutely. ADDICT will take the A1S into the next round. I would have liked to see VERTEX get their hands on a couple more, and they still might be able to if they exit through CT. But going in with the force in this round, it's well worth its weight in gold. ADDICT actually managing to drop Malta at the end of it. Something to note as well, ASAP did have a kit in that one too, Mac. So if that was something that ADDICT was rapidly able to grab, the potential for a later retake could have been on if he fancied himself that 1 versus 3. But putting a little bit more prize on the gun, we'll see what he's going to be able to do in this new round with it. And the assortment for his teammates as well, getting in the force. It leads to some mucky Counter-Strike, you know. I kind of want to see full consistency come across the board, and this is one of those rounds where now it's over on VERTEX's side of things to try and find that they get this round. They're able to have a cool, confident buy going into the next, where we can't really say the same for Rooster.
Well, that's confidence. ADDICT trying to use the Master Rifle, the only big boy that they have to play with at the moment. But unfortunately, will not find any rewards for his efforts. ASAP as well, just jiggling, waiting for that jump up on the right side of the stairs. Has his smoke to try and play around. Wanting to stay close range here. Going to be Molly over towards Ninja side. ASAP wants to get passive, wants to go forward. He couldn't decide what he wanted to do there. But the flash will allow ASAP to get one there onto Hazard. Big sharp shot coming through. And now it is just going to be the rifles trying to be positioned appropriately. Nedic spamming. But the bullets go shooting right on back. And Rackham's just going to be running straight at him. 2v2 now. It's an awkward affair. ADDICT continuing to fight. Mollied forward. So ADDICT going to be able to bring this into a 1-on-1 now. And Brace has yet to get a kill on the board. Taps there. Has to peek. And ADDICT wins it. Clutches it through in the 1v2.
Yeah, that's an interesting round yet again. You know, VERTEX, all eggs, one basket. No real contingency plan for any flanks, any late players to come out through mid. I kind of would have liked to see that, but they needed all their members to gain control of the site, it would seem. Good spray down to the MP9, good chip damage that the boys on Rooster are able to get out. But when push comes to shove, it's that real crucial frag at the end from ADDICT, isn't it? With no kit. Baits in the duel and manages to win it against Brace, who's having a little bit of a silent start on the kill department, but hopefully he's able to pick that one up, because we know that he does bring a lot to the roster of VERTEX on that leadership role. And as I make mention previously that I want to see some stability come into the economy of these teams, we want to see some rounds strung together in a row. We haven't really got that just yet. It's been back and forth between these two. So if we continue that, maybe this one goes to VERTEX. However, with the damage already being delivered and ADDICT starting to sniff out what VERTEX are looking to throw down, maybe Rooster are going to be able to double up in the rounds.
Slow approach again. Just refreshing that ramp smoke. PZ looking to throw a little one way. As the rest of the boys are just going to liquid it.
Yeah, I do like the respect Rooster are giving as well. Not going for a bit of a hunt, but by timing, Mac, look at this one. ADDICT caught up by himself.
TJ, full reliance on that molly. Looks like he wanted to try and block that smoke, but he will just pull the gun out instead. Wins that first fight, pushing through the lane side, and that is going to be site control in their hands. PZ as well, even fighting himself. Nice little upgrade. Nedic, crosshair placement good, but he cops a bink. He gets sent back to heaven, and it looks like it might just be saves.
Potentially, yeah. Only a single smoke on ASAP. Where do you look to position that in a retake specifically with a nice open plant? Lots of angles that VERTEX are going to be able to cover and overlook that bomb. So the only real way for any chance of Rooster would be using the smoke to actually go on the bomb, a tap, bait out duels. But at that point in time, you know, there's 4 members of VERTEX here. The difference of Molly, a second smoke, or a flash could have potentially done in this round. Could have been essential. Regardless, VERTEX have kind of done well, only losing Hazard. So this back and forward affair is just going to continue delivering yet again. At least for Rooster, they have a pretty comparable buy coming into the next round, right? Saving with 3 guns, TJP and ADK. They're just going to be down onto, you know, maybe an upgraded pistol for ADK, a Deagle. If a Famus wants to get dropped over to him, we could probably see that. But I wouldn't mind them just going full kit of utility and trying to maximize the money that they've actually got left over. Go in with a little bit of a plan of action. Get some haste going down potentially. Rooster have been throwing these smokes at the bottom of ramp. If they go with it and push through, potentially they catch VERTEX off guard. So a lot of plans that they could go and do in this round when they have the lesser equipped buy. So we do see VERTEX come out of a tactical timeout as well.
Where do they go? Rooster, obviously with the investment, are looking to put the pedal to the metal, but the question is where? I'm seeing 4 players all looking over towards that A site, although we are going to see that shift. One towards mid, and TJ as well, just shift walking, trying to count the numbers over towards that A ramp and trying to figure out exactly what VERTEX are going for. ADK getting right up in the grills already, close on the scaffold. And what do we have here? The other boys have all left him. I thought maybe there'd be a world where someone drops a flash and sends him forward, but he's just playing at a nice close range with the MP9 here. As Nedic keeps on making that noise on ramp side.
All it's going to take is a good pop flash to provide ADK into this position, and you might be able to catch off a couple of the VERTEX members, but Haz's position problematic. An ADDICT, he's been seen, but he manages to completely rip the head off of ASAP, get some extra information as well. With a minute to go, Mac, I think things might start to slow down a little bit. There's been some damage, but ADK, oh, is an easy one against PZ. And things go bad for worse now for VERTEX, potentially.
Malta making a bit of noise. And Brace not too far away. Still yet to get on the board. There's the IGL. Ooh, missed opportunity. The numbers starting to shift across towards the A site now. Malta. He's not running into a crossfire, but he doesn't hard clear the corner. That's going to be a one-way ticket to the grave. Brace now 1v4 angle and 9 points of health with no time to make it happen. And there he goes. Down to 80k, who finds himself the upgrade of the AK, and that will be a 3-3 scoreline.
Yeah, it just feels like a little bit of an elongated round at the end of that one for VERTEX. Couldn't quite get a wriggle on, couldn't quite get some trades. And I guess a couple of instances as well where, you know, not clearing the corner is a real bad thing to happen to you, right? Malta gets completely taken out of the equation. PZ, first and foremost, pushing through the smoke at the ramp. So it's just these little things that VERTEX are having slip up at the beginning stages of this series that, you know, they need to warm up a little bit into it. They haven't played the game of Counter-Strike in an official capacity yet today, like Rooster have, where you can look to iron out a couple of those kinks nice and early. But they have gone in for a force buy in this round. Still yet to really see a full eco to come through from any of these squads and the back and forwardness that we've got in this game so far. And it is a situation right now as well that because Rooster did win that previous round, they got a lot more utility. They can look to recycle it to their heart's content. Comes down to VERTEX, so they got to disrespect it, which they're starting to meander past this smoke. Look at this from TJP. Mate, how has he snuck behind him?
Pushing and pushing. That's how. W key brilliance. Malta now on an adventure of his own back towards mid-side. And Nedic hoping to catch a timing, but VERTEX all just cut and sound, playing to punish any extra A-side aggression. And it's crazy to think that Rooster of all teams have been one of these teams that are now just so much less aggressive after being a little bit more experienced, just playing the meta.
It's so weird for me as well, right? Because we've been casting Rooster for how long now? And they've kind of essentially like waited for a couple of their players to get out of jail. You know, Chell's been waiting for them. And now that they're out, they're just such a well-measured team. It's really cool to see.
And Rackham again. Pretty impressive so far up against VERTEX. Ooh, PZ gonna have to cop that full molly. Oh, down to 25 he goes, and Hazard going to be able to stop Nedic jumping up above. So 3v3 angle now. And Rooster's still definitely in it with a shot. Smoke going to be going down very wide, as well as in front of sight, going for the full wall. No one tapping it and no one forcing out the aggression, but Hazard is coming anyway. ADK, plenty of bullets in the mag there. Addict, still close range on Crane, and now it's down to Sap on 5 points of health. Trying to tap it, awkward position, and hoping that the smokes don't fade, but the angle's there for PZ on the backside of sight. You love to see it, and VERTEX, they'll take that lead right back.
Mate, back and forth. Is this ping pong or tennis or something like that? This is just continuing to go left and right between these two teams, but maybe finally we actually get a bit of an eco from Rooster as they're all hanging around the 2K mark. Loss bonus of 1900 certainly does not assist in this situation, so it does look to be the actual full USP equipment across the board. Rackham is going to make me eat my words by changing over to a 5-7, but regardless, finally, this is the time for Rooster to take a knee, and for VERTEX to potentially double in on a couple of these rounds. You've got Malta there with the Mac 10 as well, who's going to be able to potentially farm a bit of extra cash. But for these tendencies of VERTEX, they absolutely are loving this A-ramp control time and time again. Now to be tested by the USPs.
Braces trying to work some kind of magic here, or jumping awkward, but it is going to be a clean mop up for VERTEX, only losing like PZ's armor in the process.
Yeah.
Damn.
Nedic also took out ASAP, so a team kill in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, bit of an awkwardness, but finally VERTEX, they have a 2-round lead now. We've got a purchase to come through for Rooster, and this is where we start to get into the meat and potatoes. This is where I really want to see what the defenses of Rooster are going to be able to provide to us, right? Because in our previous series where it was Rooster against Encore, 16-7, it was 9 CT-sided rounds that Rooster were able to put up, and then 7 on the T side where we only saw Encore gather 1. So are we looking for Rooster to get the lion's share of their rounds on this CT side yet again? Or do they have a little bit more to play with on the T side because VERTEX is starting to push them a little bit more on the T side of their own?
Let's see what Sap's going to be able to do to try and slow down VERTEX here. Looking like they're just going to shift some of that util back to Rackham, who's got that flash in hand now.
TJP is going to start to make his rotations as well, and he needs to be able to back up this B site. There is no kit, remember, for Rooster here.
Ooh, ASAP. Figure out where he wants to go. Spots that wrap around the front side of sight, and Malta is going to lose his head for it. TJ getting real aggro with the MP9, throwing an aggressive smoke as well to try and push their way forward. But it doesn't work in their favor, and now we're down to the 4v4 again. Sap barely living. But he has given that M4 across to someone else with more health. Him and Rackham going for the quick old switcheroo. And VERTEX, they got 3 bangers to try and help out these players on site. Addict has 2 of them. Can just throw him above himself. Hazard just waiting for the swing. In comes that flash. In comes the aggression. And ASAP still gets 1 on 2 HP and still has maybe an opportunity. But as you mentioned, there's no kit. He's looked for one on the ground, but he's found a gun. And he will just escape away with his life. But that is going to be 6 now on the board for VERTEX, who are starting to get real close to the majority for the half.
Yeah, starting to warm up a little bit come this T side. Brace in with the surviving action of this round. I was noticing as well when the bomb went down, ADK was actually still on the A site as well. So just the difference potentially having that immediate player reacting onto the site, able to drop a bit of utility as well. He had one of those incendiaries. You know, you think about a scenario where you can drop one of them at the back of the pillar. You can drop one of them at default as well. And then you can start to push up towards quad. You can start to flesh out where the VERTEX members are starting to hide. But unfortunate situations for Rooster. VERTEX just that one better in that round to really gain control of the site when push comes to shove. Now, Rooster backed up against the wall. Just going to be relying potentially on what ASAP can do with this A1S. They got a couple of upgraded pistols as well, and it is kind of cheeky. Malta might be tempting fate here. He looks to lurk behind this smoke, but as it does start to fade, who is it going to favor here? ASAP has everything on a platter right now, and they're overlooking him, but... out of ammo. That A1S sometimes, Mac.
We'll see if VERTEX fall here. There is a chance with a couple of deagles there that there could be some kind of crazy damage done, but for the moment, VERTEX are very, very cautious of this flank coming through, and TJ is providing Zed flank. Oh, Addict. I think he spotted that one on the cross. And the offline.
Oh,
Oh, the timing. It is perfect for TJ. Brace will go down again. And you can see VERTEX just trying to force their way forward. Flash was push in through the smoke, and ADDICT keeping them guessing. Gets it done with the 5-7. That is going to be 4 on the board, and a round where Rooster should have had absolutely no right in winning.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that, isn't it? I guess at the end of the day, the damage ASAP was able to deliver with the A1S, good for 1 frag, and then, 99%-ish of the next one on towards Addict, I think it was. So, good damage in that round. Just leave the pistols at close proximity to be able to finish it up for Rooster, and now they do have a pretty comfy buy to come into the 11th. Still, nobody able to fashion up an AWP at the current moment. With all the utility that is currently blocking vision over at the ramp, that's where Rooster are looking to put a couple of their eyes. Cheeky peek in from TJP. But it's this race boost at the moment that's almost being read by Rooster as well.
Well, what do we got here? Addict lining up some kind of molly. Looks like the players on I don't need it just yet. It should be a little molly for lane / scaff there. Beautifully done. And PZ will try and sell this fake at A as we see VERTEX starting to shift more contact in towards B. ASAP goes onto the ground. And it's going to be Rackham now to try and do it all on his own and try and buy some time for these rotations forward. Smoke over towards that double gap. And he's just waiting to try and stop the swing to sight. But VERTEX, they've hit the brakes with 40 seconds. In come the flash, in come the troops. And they're just going to be going down in a firing line. My lord,
Wow.
VERTEX not having too much luck this round.
Yeah, they get the first pick in the round, and that's pretty much it, isn't it? ASAP, he'll be happy enough to sit back and watch his team mop everything up there. Another one over to the Rooster boys. And I was seeing as well, after that utility was thrown over towards the side hole, right? PZ trying to sell a fake with the Tech 9. I did notice that TJP cheated a bit of a rotation over towards A, and as soon as ASAP lost his life, booked it straight back towards the B site, and he was just able to kind of, let VERTEX waltz in towards his crosshair. It's a very interesting scenario and decision that Brace is either, or most likely, called for the boys to just slow it down, get their utility on toward the site. Never gonna kind of question these, scenarios from them, but the difference it potentially could have made if they do try to get forward a little bit quicker and take the fight when there is only 2 members of the Rooster side there. 2, in fact, that did mince them up at the end.
Ooh. Well, there you have it. Bit of extra damage done by Nedic. Has her Embrace out of the equation for the round, and now it's just Addict, Malta, and PZ with a couple of dirty digs to try and find any kind of impact. But Rooster looking pretty red hot right now. And timing favoring PZ there. He's expected the aggression from TJ. And is now going to try to get mitts on this AK. Or Rackham answering with 1 on the Malta and looking to continue this pressure on lane side. Staying real damn close to his brother in arms. And PZ with the AK now. Could maybe work some magic.
Well, imagine the picture that we could paint if PZ was able to get in, be able to find another kill, you get a plant. It would look to be a pretty one, wouldn't it? ADDICT, though, going to be the first point of contact. A bit of a love tap on towards Addict. 20 seconds to get the plant down. ADDICT, going to deny that one here, Mac and PZ. No shieldies, no armors to protect him. And he's going to be taken down. A tied scoreline. Something that we've seen time and time again in this map as Rooster come back a little bit and find 6 now apiece. A timeout deployed by VERTEX yet again.
What do we expect to happen here? They're having a quick chat. Looks like they got enough money to get a decent buy. Doesn't look like anyone's particularly interested in any direction just yet. But look, so far, it being a 6-6 scoreline, Rooster already doing better than yesterday. And that being said, Rooster looked really damn good on that T side as well. So VERTEX might be in a slippery position, but I guess we'll see how this round plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. Brace missing a little bit of utility. You can say the same for Addict and Hazza, which means they need to be a little bit more cautious on where they look to deploy said util. No HE grenades as well, so if they do look to go over towards the A side of things, they are going to have to clear the sandbags with a molly if it's smoked out, and they need to make sure they don't get caught in just full focus on toward that location. Does seem like they're going to go back to a little bit of this default where they try to get a little bit of control around the A ramp. It's a nice spray from Hazza and PZ on towards Nedic. Malta's situation at the moment is to play Lurk over towards those B stairs, potentially get a little bit of timing. You've got Addict in middle as well, who now loses his life to Rackham. So for the opener that VERTEX are able to find, it's quickly pulled away from him.
Again, just being Vertigo. Everyone loves a good shift walk. Loves a good contact here. And Rooster are pretty aware that VERTEX is going to give it a crack on A. Again, just fudging the numbers this direction. ASAP already over towards Elevator and here to reinforce at any given moment. 2 quick ones for Rooster, but it's answered by Malta on another. And PZ barely living. Molly's missed that Tetris area, and now we see the rotation back from VERTEX, who've counted the numbers. They've seen both the members remaining on that A site. So B should be free, but they tried to fake it with sound, and they haven't bought a rotation at all. But at least now PZ knows B site's open.
Yeah, it's hard as well because Malta's usually that B player at the beginning of the round, right? So if he did just stick over towards B, he could have potentially pushed into CT and got a real forward position to allow PZ just to anchor on the site and play a position to his heart's content. The problem is, Mac, PZ, 4 points of life right now. He's got a molly and 2 flashes. Tej has a smoke, though. And look where PZ is playing, below the stairs.
He's very scared. Trying to play the percentage game.
There's
now with
smoke.
that smoke going down. TJ, he can't find the bomb. It's a little bit rough, and I don't think the smoke has quite hit it. He's got his head down, straight in the smoke there. TJ will fall, unaware that PZ was so low, or I think he would have played that a different way. But that's it. PZ falls to the bomb at that range. And VERTEX walk out of it with the lead, but only barely.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's you win the battle, but not the war potentially, right? You come out a little bit worse for wear. You don't have those bandages to assist the bleeding. And what is the fruit of that? It's 5 Galils right now for VERTEX. It's light on the utility for majority of the squad. So it does put Rooster in a pretty good spot to be able to equalize things once again and then go into the last round of this half with a better buyout, because it'll only be that loss bonus for VERTEX if it does end up that way. But a lot of these rounds, you know, it's not really diverting too far from the normal narrative, right? This deep ramp smoke from Rooster. VERTEX members waiting around yet again to see if there's any aggression, if there's anyone peeking on top of the smoke. We see that one way now from Nedic on top of the sandbags. But as I make mention, you know, it's you would think for the first, 40 seconds of these rounds, it's pretty readable what both teams are doing.
What are we seeing here? PZ slow approach at B again. ASAP trying to spot him through the grate, through that catwalk, and Rackham just having a geese here. Flash in front of quad. ASAP hasn't found anything off the back of it. ADK trying to defend mid here, trying to just underarm that flash and help out his teammate. Good flash as well. It somehow blinded all of them and set them packing, but Rackham is not re-aggressed just yet. ASAP only good for 1 before falling. Brace on the trade game. And Malta just trying to find an angle. Hasn't spotted the second man. Great trades coming through from VERTEX until they aren't. And ADK on 9 points of health now, just buying time for these rotations. Brace, wrapping on the back of side, has spotted that leg. He knows that ADK is there, and it's Hazard to close. Big round coming through from VERTEX. 2-round lead now, and looking like it may just be a 9-6 affair at the half.
These rounds are very close, you know, everybody getting a piece of the pie, everybody ready for a trade, a couple of seconds of a gap, yeah, for sure, but VERTEX coming on top of that round, it does put them in good stead to get the 9th, as you do say. I still wouldn't put it past Rooster to be able to pick this one up, right? They've won around with these lesser pistols already, a little bit of scrap in the mix. So it should shape up to still be a pretty interesting round regardless. And again, you know, it's Malta to the B side of the map. It's ASAP playing over at that hazard wall. And then the rest of the guys, Vertex, are essentially floating with one in mid and 3 of them at the bottom of ramp. So again, just a very similar story. You can get the pretty much, you know, most of it from the blurb. Nedic, however, taking out Brace through the smoke is a pretty decent start for Rooster. They do only have 1 rifle, remember.
Hazard tucking and waiting for this swing, but Nedic one way, going to be abused for the first. It has a real damn close to trade, and that's going to be the only rifle brought in from Rooster. Hitting the ground, and it's not running.
Is it going to happen again, Matt? Where they try to go in towards this A site, it's just the pistols to throw a little bit of chaos in the mix?
Maybe. Well, that nade has certainly softened up Rackham and Vertex. They are not putting all their eggs in one basket just yet. Just cutting sound, waiting for a flank through. Malta even thinking that someone is already sitting there at forklift.
Yeah. Remember, though, you got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet, and that's what has already happened in this round for both squads. 30 seconds to try and get the plant for Vertex.
Rackham, partially blind, won't be able to spin around in time. And the util as well, just forcing Rooster real deep. Pretty good. ADK, so good with the 5-7. He's going to be able to find himself another 16 and 8 currently already in this half. And now on the 1v2 is going to give it a bloody good crack at a round. Tries to tap it. To the full wrap on the ramp side. Gets another dink. It won't be the round, but it's still impressive. And Vertex lead by 3 at the half. And here we go again. Cards are all flipped. Bit more Vertigo action for you guys. I've seen hours of it. You've seen hours of it. We better keep on reaching for the stars at this point because we've got so much of it until Source 2 drops. All right. Praise God.
Mac, that's not supposed. You're not supposed to tell them that.
That's all right. Well, Malta has found out all the info. Rooster's told him everything. Showing face over to day ramp and now cutting sound. Where did they end up?
Yeah, Brace has 2 flashes. Smoke already to be deployed. Got a bit of util for Rooster here as well as a decoy on Netic. So I'd be actually kind of keen to see how he does choose to utilize it, or if it's just one of those things that you kind of have to have. It's going to be free reign on the B site for Mr. ASAP, though, as no one's home, and Netic to get all the information of the flanking Vertex.
Ooh, banger shot from Hazard. ADK. So to flash forward. TJ cracked a nice timing. No one blinded.
Left his
going to be USP's reigning supreme. Rackham coming through with 1, but Malta doing work on the trade. And now a decoy in the way, but ASAP still tucking his head away. Gets the USP instead. 8 points of health. And he knows that someone's close. But there's no one on that defuse spot. Some boats. Oh, big shot for the first, but not the second. There's no kit, but there may, and I believe there should be time for PZ to wrangle this one through. And
we've been wrong before on Inferno.
Yep, there it is. All right, yep.
Yep, we're good.
VERTEX getting over to the double digits quickly in the second half.
Yeah, a couple of crispy shots to come out from both of the squads there at the end of it. But with that flash that was underarmed over at the stairs, you know, I think there may have potentially been a bit of miscommunication from the Rooster lads, right? Because TJP looks to dodge the flash and he runs completely under the stairs, almost hanging out one of his teammates to dry. But yeah, it's one of those things where it has happened. If it's a bit of a mistake, then try to pick it up. If it was on purpose, well, that is just quite unfortunate. VERTEX get the rounds nevertheless. With a plant, Rooster have decided to go in with the force. And now is kind of that question that I'll throw it back to earlier, Mac. You know, how much of those rounds that we saw on the CT side for Rooster, that being 6, how much does that actually matter now that things have flipped up, right? Because of the scoreline that they were able to achieve in yesterday's series, yeah, it's technically not looking as good.
I don't think it looks terrible, but we'll see what they can do here. Malta now shifting forward. Just looking to catch a timing as he hears that util popping at the bottom of ramp. But Rooster just letting the A-site noise be a ruse. They're now trying to make their way into B. And Hazard's found a perfect timing to drop that smoke.
Yeah, it'll block out the boost that Rooster were looking to do. 40 seconds to go. They really want to put a prize on finding an opening kill here in the next couple of seconds. Otherwise, it could come back to bite them. You got a rotation starting to happen from Brace as well, although he makes a bit better of it and goes back towards the A site. So this is an opportunity for Rooster to just get in towards B.
Oh, how's it going to go for him? Hazard dropping the smoke and still living at Ninja, waiting for another swing. Maybe waiting for any extra helping hand. He doesn't have to peek. He's got ADDICT just covering the way. The lineup's there and the bomb's now on the ground. TJ, 15 seconds. He's got that Galil in hand. But they still need to figure out how to remove Hazard from the backer site. And Netic realizes there is absolutely no chance in the round. So
yeah,
decides to keep the AK into the next instead. Big round coming through from VERTEX. And great patience and teamwork there from Hazard just by living.
That's one of the things I want to highlight as well, right? The fact that he is able to just tuck in, throws the smoke at the perfect timing to pretty much afford a safety net for the remainder of the round. And he just doesn't care about, you know, looking flashy or any kind of clips that he wants to throw on the social medias. His full focus is on just winning the round. And by doing that, not overheating as well and going for an extra kill, potentially lose his life, give Rooster a chance to get the bomb plant down. So a really high praise for Hazard on that round. The rest of the squad for VERTEX as well to assist and make sure that Rooster just could not get that plant down, could not find a way to win the round. And that was the force up from Rooster as well. They've only really been able to transition this AK-47 to the new round where Netic is already burning. The HE grenade is golden from PZ. And now that AK is in the hands of ADDICT, who doesn't have any Kevlar or helm to back it up. So Rackham does get it tossed over, but by that point in time, Mac, is damage already too far gone for Rooster.
Ooh, little one-way. Two facing, but still not going to be able to get out with it. TJ gets a dink, but it's not going to be enough to net a kill just yet. And PZ, now it's a little more one way to play around. That's going to be bomb on the ground. And ASAP spotted. Oh, has some more bullets to play with, though. PZ having to go for the reload in the open is never going to be a good time, but a 1v5 angle. And time on the clock, ASAP's going to give it a crack, it seems.
It'd be a big one, wouldn't it?
It would be ADDICT. Just waiting for this push underneath Tetris, and he's going to swing at a perfect time. Brace taking the contact in the back of the head, but fortunately he's got teammates close to react. And that's going to be 12 secured for VERTEX.
Yeah, it could be the string that they need to start to look to put a close on this map, the one of their own choosing. They go to nuke next, of course, guaranteed. And then if we do need it, Inferno to be a spicy decider for this grand final, for this qualification into ESL Challenger Melbourne. As now for Rooster, a purchase up. I do believe that Nedic has actually been gifted the AK-47 by ADDICT as well. As Nedic has already dropped a lot of this utility of his own. Potentially over to his teammates, actually, come to think of it. But regardless, there's guns here for Rooster. They've gone in with the equipment. And it is pretty, you know, cut and paste from what VERTEX were doing, right? A bit of an in over towards the B stairs. Majority of your forces over towards the A ramp. Kind of tread waters a little bit. Put the feelers out. See if anyone of VERTEX are going to peek. Give you an opportunity, which they're not really doing so at the moment. And they've gotten a bit of an idea here, Mac, that things might actually be tending towards the B side. And they're not wrong for the current moment.
Not bad, not bad. Flashback forward, stopping Rooster from peeking as everyone falls back and readjust to themselves. And Hazard again going to be throwing this one-way smoke to block the stairs players. But there's no one there. Rooster, of course, starting to rotate back towards A. And VERTEX playing a passive setup over towards Tetris, as well as Elevator. A lot of respect being shown from VERTEX, but at the same time, they're just happy to play for the retake with this man up in position.
Yep. Malta's got a HE grenade that he can get some chipper damage onto anyone that looks for a plant, but it's going to have to be pretty soon from Rooster because there's 20 seconds to go, Mac.
Oh, well, there's contact, Nedic. Big damage on a PZ. And Malta now hunting for some kind of trade, but this might just be what they were looking for. ADDICT in a slightly open position, but the spam's no good. They can't find a bit of damage on him. And Malta hasn't spotted that jump up from TJ either. ADDICT, a two-man spray down. TJ chiming in with two of his own. And a round which looked like Rooster had no right in winning. They're just going to pull it out of nothing.
A bit wild there, actually, all things considered, because the plant position to be seen from ADDICT planting a little bit closer to Tetris in the corner as opposed to default, where the grenades were already set up by the likes of Malta and then that later molly in by Hazard. As soon as the smoke fades, ADDICT is just able to clean the clock of VERTEX and put another number up for Rooster up on that scoreboard. They find their first T-sided rounds. Now they'll be looking to double it in because VERTEX do not have the money to go in for a full equipped one of their own. It's Malta with a scout, the rest of the lads with just some pistols. ASAP, however, already tagged to 18 HP, and the scout of Malta certainly looking for some pot shots here.
Oof. Nedic. Just looking for something there with the spams in through the smoke. Malta now with a scout of all things. Potentially feeling himself. Ooh. Won't connect though. TJ keeps his head for now. Molly's the sandbags. Make sure there's no sneaky braces in that position. Braces over towards the lane side instead. And Rooster, I think they are just going to end A. You know, just full contacting, going real slow and waiting for VERTEX to keep on sending themselves forward. And here are the numbers, just ready to fight on the headshot line. TJ, big flash. No one's peeked off it.
Yeah, there's 40 seconds to go. I almost kind of feel like Rooster would be maybe better placed to go with a little bit more haste because it is the pistols that could throw a little bit of chaos into the mix if you are caught out by yourself, which is what ADDICT is right now. It looks so bad. And Hazard finds Ace up. Oh no, things are crumbling for Rooster.
Yeah, they seem to be aware of that stack coming through. And now Brace. Oh, just get this damage done. Nedic, what's he got for us here?
Time.
10 in the clip. 10 seconds to plant. And, Brace as well, just jiggling on the short side. Gets chunked down, 5 in the clip, and he's got too many members to get past. Yeah, clock's gone, chance is gone, and so's the round. VERTEX, though, going to be extremely happy with that. 13 secured with, well, how much was that? Like a bloody 5K investment in the round.
Yeah,
Absolutely nothing.
A scout, 2 deagles, and 2 USPs, I think, from memory. So if you can do some quick math on broadcast, you know, 700 for the deagles, however much the scout is nothing, Mac. I think that's the way. They won the round with nothing.
Yeah, rough as.
Yeah.
Absolutely rough. And here you go. Rooster now knocking on death's door with only 3 rounds to play with to try and make a comeback happen here.
Yep. I'm going to go back to VERTEX conditioning a bit of utility over towards a ramp yet again. Hazard having a cheeky little peek over the hazard wall. Not going to be spotting out anything at the moment. I do like, again, the VERTEX are being a little bit more patient with how they're looking to go for these approaches. And as soon as Hazard spots anything, they're able to quickly give a decisive blow over towards ASAP. And find advantage for VERTEX yet again.
Down, shuffling the util. And Rooster picking a good time to swing there. Hazard is going to be traded out, and a great flash as well. Blinds all the Rooster numbers. And they're just trying to find where they can stand and send some damage back. Nedic nets another, and now down to the 3v3 we go. Look at Nedic, 2 points of health now. And it's looking quite difficult indeed, but we'll see if TJ is going to be the piece de resistance with this smoke about to fade.
Go through this one. 2 smokes,
he will.
flashes
The line
for
up.
VERTEX. They line up. That is brilliant. Rooster, they hold on. A much needed round as well. 3 guns surviving. ADK and ASAP. They're going to be potentially gifted some guns here as well, just to make sure everything across the board goes for Rooster. And a situation for VERTEX as well, Mac, where a majority of them can actually buy, but with not all of them, usually we see VERTEX go for a bit of a half buy. And that's exactly what they're going to be doing right now. So we should be able to see everything come forward for them in the next round. PZ will get that AWP you would expect.
Well, big damage on a Malta. Showing a little bit too much feet. Not on Twitch, mate. Come on.
Yeah, just a slower one again. Rooster, they don't want to be upset by the lesser buy from VERTEX again. Though there is no scout this time that can do a significant amount of chipper damage. It is time to kind of, you know, lay back a little bit in these rounds though, Max. So make sure you're covering those sensitive toes.
TJ just going to be popping his way forward. Having a quick peek in towards that scaffold side, which is a dangerous decision, you know, knowing that there are going to be a couple of Pistoly members of VERTEX here in Grace. Getting up close and personal with that flash. He's going to clear out lane side, but the push on the front is what he has to worry about. And it's a nice timed push from ASAP to go for the full ring around the rosy. Clear out all of lane side. In comes the flank, but that's going to be dealt with real quick by the firing squad that's standing here. And it's all up to VERTEX to try and close this one out now, but the momentum is shifting back into favor of Rooster here.
Yeah, and remember, we saw a pretty monstrous comeback from Rooster already in this evening's festivities on the game known as Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So being able to mount a comeback is definitely in their wheelhouse here. Another timeout invested by VERTEX. As I made mention to, they'll be able to come up with the purchase in this round. You'd be expecting PZ to get the AWP out, but I think one of the things that I'll be interested in is, yeah, they've got all the guns, but are they just going to go for another default? Are they just going to be setting 3 players over towards A, 1 over towards mid, and 1 over toward the B stairs, see what Hazard can do with the early little peek for any information, and then act accordingly? Or are VERTEX going to change it up? Are they going to go for some aggression, and they're going to potentially go for 2 players in through mid, PZ on that AWP to get a little bit of a peek in? I kind of want to see something a little bit different from VERTEX here, right? Because it is that nth hour on Vertigo. It is the time to look to put the nail in the coffin of the first map.
Making a lot of noise there and trying to get real aggressive, but Rooster didn't spot Hazard. Timing of the flash must have been a little bit awkward there, but by the way, Addict's going to get another, and the rush is instantly shut down. Rooster attempting the change of pace, but it has not worked at all.
Yeah, squished 3 players on the B site now for Vertex. PZ in mid, a bit uncharacteristic. It's, you know, a couple of times now that he's actually been a little bit hard done by on the boomstick line. But it does bring it within 1 for Rooster to get back into this round. You got Malta starting to go for a little bit of a position on the other side of the map. Already down the forklift. Forever rest in peace. But this pretty much does signify a lot of information for Vertex that the Rooster members are still around the B side of things. And to keep your heads up.
Addict's just full tucked. He mollied off either. Good timing on the peak. Contact, jump up. Addict just tearing a new one to Rooster. But TJ's living. He's looking to make this 1v4 angle work. 3 remaining. And a decent amount of time to play with. Tap in, open. No one pushing forward yet. Hazard. It's a bit of damage dropping over towards Gen, but it's the flank he needs to worry about. And Malta times it perfectly. That'll be 14 secured now. Vertex with a quick retake. Good damage from Addict as well.
Yeah, it's like you said, Rooster trying a change of pace over toward the B stairs, and it's kind of immediately shut down, right? And then from there on out, it's one of those things where, yeah, PZ loses his life, AWP to be retrieved at the end by Brace. But it's really Addict, you know, playing behind the pillar, making sure that he's just tucked in, unknown, nobody full hard clears him. He's gotten 2 frags out of it. And then as TJP tries to win a clutch, it's not really allowed by Vertex. So this is where we start to get to the nth hour of Vertigo. We start to bring one of these teams down a size. As we have a purchase, of course, to come through for Rooster in this round. But if they do drop it, it's just got to be that loss bonus that comes into their pockets. And then they have to try and fight for OT. So finding an opening frag will be worth its weight in gold in this round. Little toes have been spotted out by PZ. He's going to leg TJP. It would have been pretty cool if he was able to finish that one off through the wall. He's also been given another chance against Netic. So tempting fate potentially are the Rooster members in the first couple of seconds of this round. But from here on out, you'd probably expect it to settle down for a little bit before Rooster look to reattempt maybe towards the A site where they've had a bit of success.
Close molly coming through. And ASAP not going to hear a thing. Vertex playing real deep at B. 2-man mid set up this time to change things through, expecting a different approach from Rooster. And PZ close range orbing.
Yeah.
He's a dangerous prospect considering. But he's pretty
orb.
sharp on the stick.
Yeah, if he gets Molotov'd out by the couple that Rooster have, it could be a definite avenue for them to get up and in it. That Molotov is probably going to force the hand of Netic. It's a good flick out by PZ. 30 seconds to go, Mac. And there's a lot of util that Vertex can actually start to throw down. But 80k frag, that throws a spanner in the works right now. A Rooster going to be expected to still just be completely around this A side or not.
Oh, PZ. Make it work here. Close range again, another shot off. Flash forward, goes behind him, connects. Finally, TJ going to be able to find that lineup as well on both lane members from Vertex. But there's 4 seconds to plant here. Hazard needs to just live, needs to allow it to stop being planted, but there's no one able to get their mitts on the bomb in time. They're looking for the kill, and Brace just tucks away in maze. That's a 15th found because Rooster took too long to make that maneuver happen.
Yeah, it almost feels like they waited way too long to try and dislodge PZ in the side hall, right? TJP a little bit too late. Yeah, you see 2 members from Vertex actually in that side hall as well. PZ is being full distractor, and then Vertex are able to just put a good seal on the rest of that round. You see the time hit 10 seconds, and you probably know that Rooster's going to get a little bit chaotic, a little bit sweaty, because the time is a real big issue. And as soon as it hits 4 seconds, and Brace realizes there is no chance for a plant, he is just absolutely out of there. So 15th secured now for Vertex. Couple of map points to be able to play with here. 6 chances, or really 5 chances to have a little bit of falters here and there before it becoming DD on this map. But they do have a pretty good purchase to come forward. We can't really say the same thing for Rooster. Couple of AKs, a Galil, 2 Tech 9s. They have made things work with less. But when you are, you know, up against the wall, you're in that corner, and you've got no mistakes to make, how much does that actually weigh on you?
Flash towards sandbags. Malta just takes a little peek, tries to get that early info, and we'll just fall away. ADDICT. The game of timing is going to be lost by him. Off angle could have been nice, but he is not going to win it or expect that aggression on that timing. TJ, meanwhile, is just going to go for the 1-for-1 over towards A side, but that's going to be a 4v3 now. So
Yeah.
VERTEX, let's see if they're going to be able to win it with a man disadvantage.
You'd love to see Rackham or ASAP picking up one of these rifles that has been dropped down. But what information do you actually have in this game so far? Where do you look to finish up the round? You know, Hazard, he's been pretty good at this B site so far. You got Malta, who's made his way through mid at the moment, sniffing out a bit of information. So if things do actually end up towards B, it is where the majority of the forces are for VERTEX. They've spotted them all out now, and it's going to be on to Brace with Malta's assistance.
Almost a chance for 2, and Brace is just tucking 1v2 and hoping that he's found it. It's on a silver platter, no trade, 80k, no idea. And that is going to be 16-9, map 1, VERTEX, putting it in the bag. And that is a great start to their series. Their map choice has been secured.
Absolutely, and of course, Brace with those final frags, hitting double digits with the rest of the squad at the end of the day. The damage that he's